Oh man, what is going on here? It's an absolute mess. I was just chilling, winding down. It's 9:30 p.m. here in London. We got news that the Bitcoin spot ETF was approved. Now, guys, I've done a bit of research. We're getting breaking news from Bloomberg as well that this looks to be a hoax. This is unbelievable. I've never seen this happen before. The most anticipated event in crypto's history. Tweeted out from the official SEC website. Today, the SEC grants approval for Bitcoin ETFs for listing on all registered national securities exchanges. The approved Bitcoin ETFs will be subject to ongoing surveillance. And it's got a quote here from Gary Gensler. This is official, guys. You can see it. It's got the check mark. It's the 500,000 followers here on the official SEC page. The tweet is here. It's had 2.7 million views, but apparently it's not been official. Right? I'm going to switch on over to Bloomberg so you can hear it from them. They've spoken to their connects at the SEC who have said there has not been a spot ETF approved today. Okay, so I'm happy to correct you on this, guys. There is no spot ETF here today. I don't want you guys panicking. This is not official. Okay, so what does this now mean? Apparently, we're hearing that his account was compromised. Gary Gensler's account was compromised. Someone's obviously used this as the perfect opportunity to manipulate the markets. Bitcoin now down 2% here. If we take a look at the 5-minute chart, you can see initially it climbed here with everybody getting excited on the news, including myself. It came up from the official place, guys. That's the first thing I do before sharing it, was I check in the official place. And when I saw this by the blue check mark, I'm like, oh my God, like that's official, right? It's on their actual Twitter page. Now, when you jump on over into the research, you then find out that it's not. This is crazy. The fact that an official account has been compromised is absolutely crazy. Let's see what the suits are saying over here.
For Bitcoin itself, a potential hoax here, really impacting a market in real time. Again, we've been waiting for this SEC approval.
Crazy.
There's no assurance that it will necessarily come. The Twitter account of the SEC seems to have been compromised, and now we're looking at, a question of what happens from here in terms of how the SEC approaches this product.
All right. Well, we're marshaling the full resources that we have here at Bloomberg News. Romain Bostic, alongside Scarlett Fu, Shanali Bassick, along.
So as you can see there, guys, it was a hoax, a complete hoax. Somebody has hacked Gary Gensler's account. Now, look, that doesn't mean that we're not going to get a Bitcoin spot ETF approved, but this is really thrown the spanner in the works, because if Gary Gensler was going to go ahead and approve one tomorrow, which maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, this could really put the cat amongst the pigeons. What if he goes, now, I'm just going to play difficult now and delay it, or just be a nuisance, right? This is not ideal. So whoever did this, obviously a retail person, maybe a trader or an investor or some sort of kid online, has obviously gone, compromised his account at the perfect time and announced with quite good precision here. I mean, look how they did it. They obviously took the work to do it, took a quote from him, wrote it in nice formal language as well, in a way that he or the team would probably obviously post it as well. This is insane. So look, this was all here. This is all a hoax. We're gonna have to delete this, or we'll quote this and say, let's just, because this is happening in breaking time, so we'll say fake news, it was a hoax. SEC X account compromised. So this is I've never seen anything like this, guys. This is unbelievable. The timing of it, how they played it, and everybody got duped in on this. I mean, I've seen like people spread fake news before, but to go and hack an official government page to release it, I mean, this is insane. This is insane.
So this is just one of those never-ending roller coaster days covering this.
So, I mean, whoever was handling the social media responsibilities over the SEC made a mistake. If that's the case, why would Gensler say the SEC Twitter account was compromised? If the plan was all along to approve them, they could say, you know what, we published this early, but yes, this is the action we were going to take anyway. That's what happens.
And that's exactly a very good point. I can see Brum, you in the comments as well, making the same point. What if he just pressed enter soon? What if one of the interns or somebody in the team got trigger happy and pressed publish on one of the drafts too early, and now they're backtracking and saying we're compromised? He kind of doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag, right? It's very, very interesting timing.
That kind of language, it really does sound SEC-ish, the way it was written. When they do pranks, you can almost tell sometimes that it's some knucklehead.
Yeah.
This read very much like a real SEC
That's what I said.
Tweet.
Yeah, in conversation with Eric Balchunas over at Bloomberg Intelligence. I want to go back down to Washington, where Kayleigh Lyons, co-host of Balance of Power, is still standing by. And Kayleigh, we should point out here, if this was a compromised situation, if this was, as Eric is speculating, maybe potentially they were setting something up on embargo and somebody just hit the wrong button or did put the wrong date in, we should point out it's been 20 minutes since that tweet went out. It's still up.
Yeah, I keep refreshing the page, Romaine, to see if the tweet goes away, and it remains up on the SEC Gov official page. I don't know if that raises questions as to whether or not they are able to get into the account to delete it, or if Gary Gensler's clarification on his own personal account as the SEC chairman is supposed to provide clarity enough. But one would think that this would have been removed if indeed this was a hoax, if it was a hacking situation. I would just keep in mind that Gary Gensler's relationship with this platform and these things in particular has often been a problem. If you remember, there was rumors circulating on this platform over the summer that he was actually resigning as chair of the SEC. That proved to be untrue. So obviously a lot of headaches when it comes to this with the
So let's get this right, guys. The SEC cannot even take care of their own Twitter login password, but they're going to protect users' funds. They're going to protect your life savings, guys. Don't worry. They're going to protect you from the wild, wild west that is crypto and fiat currencies and all your investments. But they can't secure their Twitter account. You cannot write this stuff. You cannot write this stuff.
Well, theoretically, Scarlett, you would get the information on which ETFs we're talking about, knowing that there's about 11 in play of either new filings or a conversion in the case of Grayscale, a switch in strategy in the case of Hashdex. Usually there would be more specific information. And as always, with any government agency, typically this information is available or would be put out in a press release on something like sec.gov. And I was not able to find that when I came on to address this breaking news in the first place, which maybe is a tell. Theoretically, though, especially with all of the buildup to this decision, knowing that they were facing down this deadline and everyone is awaiting news on this, it would be a little bit more organized and detailed than just a post on X like this.
All right, and we should point out, again, just to kind of reiterate here, Gary Gensler also posting on X, and this is on his personal account, or the account that's under his name, at Gary Gensler, saying that the SEC Gov Twitter account was compromised and an unauthorized tweet was posted. It says the SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded products. Shonali Bassick still with us here in our New York studios. We're also in conversation with Keely Lyons and Eric Balchunas. Shonali.
You cannot write this. He's tweeted it now, and yet they've not got control of their Twitter account because they still can't even take down the original one. So now the price is going to be manipulated. People are going to come online. They're going to see stuff like this. In fact, let me make sure I change my YouTube title as well, because obviously I have to put hoax in the title as well. Let me just make sure, because we don't want to fool anybody into messing this up. But they're going to read the SEC's official thing. They're going to jump on, maybe buy some Bitcoin, panic, or do something, and then they're going to find out it's a hoax, man. So crazy. But this is why we try to give you coverage, right? When you can't trust official sources, hopefully you guys at least know that, I'll jump out of bed if I need to kind of cover this off and give you guys the content. So make sure you smash up the share button to anybody you know that may be getting excited, because the problem is with this kind of Bitcoin spot ETF, it's not even the usual people. Like, I know some of you, I can see you in the chat, you're quite used to crypto, right? You're used to the volatility. We've been here during a bear market. But with news like this around the spot ETF, it's going to be the average person as well, right? The average Joe's going to be like, oh, Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved, and they're going to start buying because they've been hearing about this thing. So we've got to be very, very careful, and especially because they can't delete the post too. People are going to, just like I did, you'll go to the official page, you'll verify it, and then I posted it in Telegram, right? So I got duped as well. But we can jump onto here. You can see the Bitcoin price now here dropping down to 46. More manipulation, right? More opportunities for people to take your coins. But at least we got an indication. You had a dress rehearsal now of what's going to happen. You will get that pump towards that kind of 48, 49, 50,000 mark as and when it gets approved. But yeah, man, not great here. SEC can't even look after their login details.
For SEC, it's certainly not a good look for X. I don't know why anybody's
there. Is it a good look for the crypto industry? I'm not sure either. Eric Balchunas, as you move forward with planning ahead for your coverage tomorrow on the Bitcoin ETFs, what would issuers have to say about this? How would they respond to this messy rollout that we're seeing this afternoon?
I don't think they like it. I think, everybody's ready to pop champagne corks. Remember, this has been 10 years in the making. So I quote tweeted it and said, boom. I thought this was finally over. I thought they were just giving us a little present, announcing it a day early. Again, I was expecting all of this to happen 4 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. So my guess is the industry, if you've been in this for the last 6 months, this has happened. Cointelegraph did something recently, a month ago, saying iShares was approved. That caused the problem. And then some guy recently, a researcher, said it wasn't getting approved. That caused the price to go down. we're kind of like, road tough at this point. I don't, I'm used to it, I guess, and I think the issuers are. But I think they just want to get these things on the market, get them trading. They spend a lot of money on lawyers.
But this is what's going to be annoying now. What if Gary Gensler has a bit of an ego, right? That's my main concern now, because look, I have a feeling he was going to prove it yesterday. Look, and by the way, look how this is going up, guys. 4.3 million people now still seeing this live on the website. This is a problem, right? This is a problem. What if people aren't listening to shows like this? What if they aren't listening to Bloomberg, and the average person jumps onto Twitter, sees a couple of screenshots from people who aren't, kind of covering it properly? This is now a problem. But what if Gary Gensler now uses this as an opportunity to delay it, to kick the can down the road and say, look, there's too many bad actors now, I want to think about it a bit longer? I don't think he will. I think he's obviously made a lot of promises to people. I think he would have obviously spoken to BlackRock, Van Eck, and all these guys, and I think it was probably in the works for tomorrow anyway. I think too many people were talking about tomorrow. Maybe this tweet was posted in by accident by an intern or somebody in the team, and that's caused a little bit of an issue here. Because it does, like I said, it does look like a formal message, and maybe they just don't want to fess up to it that was the case. If it was somebody that hacked it, then maybe we'd see some other posts being posted as well. But we're just kind of seeing this one post here, and I don't know, man. I just don't know. I hope if he was going to do it tomorrow, he just does it tomorrow now. But then are we going to get less of an excited move tomorrow now as well? That's something for us to cover up. Ian just jumping in saying, what's going on? Well, we thought the Bitcoin spot ETF got approved. As you can see here, this is the official SEC page explaining that the ETF was approved, with a nice quote here for Gary Gensler saying, look, we've approved all the Bitcoin spot ETFs, but it turns out that they've been compromised. And Gary Gensler has then tweeted on his own personal page that this is unauthorized. Right? Let me just make sure I've quote retweeted this as well. Message, so everybody knows, message from Wasteman G. Eastman? No, Wasteman. Gary Gensler. So yeah, like that's what we now need to understand is, how did this happen? And was it just a case of, it getting the button being pressed early by a overzealous intern, or have they actually been hacked? So let's take a look.
Eric Balchunas, of course, Bloomberg Intelligence, co-host of ETF IQ. Our thanks to Keely Lines down in Washington, who also hosts Balance of Power, which comes on immediately after this program. And our very own Shanali Basak here in New York covers everything Wall Street for us.
And we should know, and thank you to Keely for pointing this out, the tweet that the SEC handle had tweeted out has finally been taken down. That post no longer exists on X. So what the SEC was saying was that it was sent out by accident, or it was compromised. That posting no longer exists.
All right, I guess the moral of the story here is, wait for the official filing coming out of the SEC, and not necessarily the posts on social media. A lot that has to be sorted out by the folks over at X, by the folks at the SEC. Stick with us. We'll have full coverage of all that.
I mean, that is outrageous what he just said there. I mean, obviously, like, he's not in any official capacity, but, for you not to be able to follow an official account here on the SEC, I mean, that's just outrageous. And to blame Twitter is just a cop-out as well, right? Every other government, every other president is sat here on X, and this doesn't happen. If they can't take care of their own account on the SEC, a government organization, then how can we trust this exact same body to take care of our financial interests? And this is what I've been saying all along. People want to sit there listening to authority figures. They couldn't care less about you. They just care about where their pocket is being lined, right? And that's why you've got to take ownership of your financial freedom and what you want to do. Speaking of which, we are still actively trading for you guys here. IjazCrypto.com/TG. I've left the comment in below. You can see it in the chat. Join us over there. We're actively trading in the market. If you guys want to learn how to trade, if you want to see how I do my trade setups, how I use technical analysis to become profitable. I did over 370% spot returns. I don't use leverage. I don't short the market. I just go long and I keep it spot. And I'm doing over 370% in December. So if you want to see some of that action, jump into the Telegram. But other than that, we just need to kind of understand what is going on here, because this is a mess. Thankfully they've taken that down. Gary Gensler's now got his message, but look, 4.3 million people would have seen this and could have FOMO'd into Bitcoin, right? And then got wrecked. So it'd be interesting to see when the figures kind of update how much liquidation damage was done. In fact, let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see if I can pull up here live with you guys how much liquidations This might not be accurate, but already in the last hour, you've had 75 million getting wrecked there just because of this announcement. So it's expensive, right? People get hurt, they FOMO in, they jump into the market. And this one, you can't actually blame them. This is not even following like an influencer, right? It's not following a tweet from me or a random influencer. This is the official blue checkmark SEC page when everybody was expecting it. So the timing of it was perfect by if it was a hoax. But really, it could have just been somebody at the SEC pressed the button too early and got really, really nervous. Maybe that person holds some Bitcoin as well, right? And they just went, why not press it? If I get fired, who cares, right? I'll just press the button, make loads of money on my crypto and short then after it, boom, off you go. So yeah, let's hope that tomorrow still brings us an SEC Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Maybe he'll be spiteful now. Maybe he'll say, you know what, I was going to do it on Wednesday. Everybody's been saying Wednesday, right? All traditional finance, Van Eck, all these guys that have filed for a Bitcoin spot ETF have all been kind of using the same date, which is saying Wednesday approval and Thursday trading. Now, remember, you don't just suddenly spin up trading. You need to actually do some preparations, right? These companies will actually have to have everything in line to begin trading. So obviously they've heard something from the SEC. So let's see if he's spiteful. Let's see if he changes his mind and messes everything up. But yes, guys, for those tuning in, I've put hoax in the title, so hopefully you guys can read. Bitcoin spot ETF is not approved. It was a hoax. Apparently, I still don't buy it, but apparently somebody's logged into Gary Gensler and the SEC's official account on Twitter and posted that all Bitcoin spot ETFs were approved. A lot of questions to answer, and just another day in the wild, wild west that is crypto. I hope you guys enjoyed this impromptu live stream. As always, go watch my video earlier today to kind of get an understanding of what I think is going to play out when we finally do get a Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Make sure you jump into our Telegram group, Ijaz Crypto.